What would you do if one day the world simply moved on without you? Not dramatically. No argument, no closure, no final conversation. Just a slow, silent disappearance. Your name stops coming up in conversations. Your messages sit unread, then unopened, then unanswered. Plans get made without you. Casually, unintentionally, like your absence doesn't even need to be explained. Imagine standing in a crowded room. Laughter fills the air. Glasses clink. Voices overlap. Everyone seems alive, connected, seen. And you're there too, but no one looks at you. You try to join a conversation, but it keeps flowing forward without acknowledging your presence. You hesitate. You wait for a pause that never comes. You smile at the wrong moment. Eventually, you stop trying altogether. You're not rejected, you're ignored. And somehow that feels worse, because rejection still recognizes your existence. Being ignored erases it. Your mind starts whispering questions you never wanted to hear. Did I ever matter? If I vanished tomorrow, would anyone notice? Am I irreplaceable, or just temporarily useful? This fear doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't announce itself. It seeps in through silence, unanswered texts, forgotten invitations. The quiet realization that life seems to continue just fine without you at the center of it. You're not dead. You're something far more unsettling. You're forgettable, and that quiet, suffocating fear that you could disappear without leaving a trace is far more common than anyone wants to admit. Why does this idea cut so deeply? Why does the thought of being forgotten trigger anxiety, panic, even desperation, sometimes more intensely than physical danger? Psychology has a name for this fear, a long word hiding one of the oldest terrors buried in the human mind: Athazagoraphobia, the fear of being forgotten, ignored, erased, replaced by someone better, newer, more valuable. This fear isn't about ego. It's not about attention-seeking or narcissism. At its core, Athazagoraphobia is about existence. For most of human history, to be forgotten wasn't emotional, it was fatal. To lose your place in the group meant losing protection, food, identity, and meaning. Your brain still carries that ancient programming. So when you're overlooked, excluded, or replaced, even symbolically, your nervous system reacts as if something vital is being taken away. And beneath that reaction, a darker belief begins to form. That your worth is fragile. That your value must be earned. That if you stop being useful, you might stop existing in the minds of others altogether. That belief is where Athazagoraphobia truly begins. Segment 1. The Ancient Fear of Vanishing. Long before psychology existed, before language, before writing, humans feared oblivion more than death itself. Death was visible. Forgetting was permanent. Ancient civilizations understood this instinctively. They didn't chase immortality in the biological sense. They chased remembrance. Pharaohs built monuments designed to outlast centuries. Warriors sought glory so their names would survive them. Poets carved identity into language itself, believing words could outlive flesh, because to be forgotten was to die twice. Evolution reinforced this fear relentlessly. Early humans survived in tightly bonded tribes where belonging wasn't emotional, it was biological. If you were ignored, excluded, or replaced, you didn't just lose connection. You lost access to food, shelter, protection, and shared knowledge. You lost life. So the human brain developed an internal alarm system, one that treats social disappearance as mortal danger. The same way your body reacts to starvation or injury, your mind reacts to invisibility. That alarm is Athazagoraphobia. It's not a modern weakness. It's not a personality flaw. It's a prehistoric survival mechanism doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is this: the environment changed. The alarm didn't. Segment 2. What Athazagoraphobia really looks like. Athazagoraphobia isn't just wanting attention. It's a persistent, exhausting fear that your place in someone's life is unstable, that you exist on probation, that at any moment, someone more interesting, more successful, or more emotionally convenient could replace you. This fear manifests quietly at first. Anxiety when messages go unanswered. Panic when you feel less relevant. A constant hunger for reassurance. Fear of being overshadowed. Emotional distress when excluded, even unintentionally. But the most dangerous symptom isn't anxiety, it's hypervigilance. The mind becomes a surveillance system, scanning endlessly for threats to belonging. They didn't invite me. Am I being phased out? They're closer now. Do I still matter? There's someone new. Am I disposable? This state is mentally exhausting and corrosive because Athazagoraphobia doesn't stay internal. It reshapes behavior in ways that often go unnoticed. People overperform, hoping excellence will secure permanence. They stay in toxic relationships, mistaking familiarity for safety. They suppress their real opinions, emotions, and boundaries to remain easy to keep. They quietly compete with others, not out of malice, but out of fear. Ironically, the fear of being forgotten often creates the very outcome it's trying to prevent. The desperation to stay visible becomes pressure. Pressure becomes emotional weight, and people begin to pull away. Distance grows, silence increases, the alarm grows louder, and the feedback loop tightens. Segment 3. Manufactured Forgettability. In the digital age, Athazagoraphobia has found its most efficient environment. Social media doesn't just connect people, it quantifies human worth. Followers, likes, views, engagement. Visibility becomes validation. Silence becomes rejection. You are ranked, compared, and replaced by algorithms that never sleep and never care how long you've been there. One viral post can erase years of effort. One new creator can make you feel obsolete overnight. The human brain isn't built for this level of constant comparison. Neurological research shows that social exclusion activates the same brain regions as physical pain. The mind doesn't distinguish between digital silence and real-world abandonment. So when you're unseen online, your nervous system reacts as if survival itself is threatened. That's why being ignored hurts more than criticism. At least criticism means you still exist. Clinical psychology sees this pattern clearly. One documented case involved a high-performing professional who wasn't afraid of failure, she was afraid of replacement. She worked longer hours than anyone else, never took vacations, never said no. When a new colleague joined her team, her anxiety spiraled into panic attacks. She became obsessive, competitive, emotionally unstable. Eventually, her performance collapsed. The diagnosis wasn't ambition, it was Athazagoraphobia rooted in childhood emotional neglect, where affection was conditional on achievement. Her brain learned one rule early: if I'm not exceptional, I'm invisible. And that rule followed her into adulthood like a shadow, shaping every decision, every relationship, every moment of rest she could never allow herself to have. The twist in application. Now here's the unsettling part. You might not have Athazagoraphobia. You might function well, appear confident, even successful. And yet, have you ever felt anxious when a message goes unanswered? Uncomfortable when someone you care about grows closer to someone else? Uneasy when you realize life is moving forward and you're not sure where you fit? That's the same mechanism, just quieter. It shows up as overthinking silence, people-pleasing, fear of being outgrown, anxiety about relevance, an obsession with leaving some kind of mark before time moves on without you. At its core, Athazagoraphobia isn't about being forgotten by the world. It's about believing your value is conditional. That you're loved for what you provide, not for who you are. That your presence must be earned, defended, justified. And once you believe that, rest becomes impossible. Because you're no longer living, you're maintaining relevance. But what if this fear isn't just psychological? What if it's reinforced quietly, strategically by the systems you live inside? A world that rewards visibility over depth, performance over authenticity, productivity over presence. What if social platforms, workplaces, even relationships benefit when you feel replaceable, when fear keeps you engaged, producing, proving your worth? And once you start seeing that pattern, a darker question emerges. If you're terrified of being forgotten, is it because you fear disappearing, or because you were never fully seen to begin with? That question leads somewhere deeper, somewhere uncomfortable, and that is why you need to watch the next videos.